Hello, everyone. Welcome back. December 19th. I hope everyone had a good holiday out there. It's been a crazy week for FPL. We had a doubleheader, which was
quadruple header almost.
yeah. I mean, holiday season, doubleheaders, like it got pretty wild in there.
Well,
How you
crazy.
two doing?
I'm not feeling my best today, but
Why don't you tell the people why?
I got a little too excited yesterday watching football. Consumed a few adult beverages and woke up not feeling my best, but I feel great now. We're here for a fun show, and yeah, hopefully I don't mess up too much.
Never. David, how are you?
Feeling good. Had a good birthday, good holiday. Ate and drank a lot. Probably gained like 10 pounds.
Hell yeah.
You know, so if you can notice on the camera, that's why. But no, I just still don't have Mo Salah, so it's been a rough morning for me. But
It's a tough life, man.
Yeah.
It's a tough life. So today we're actually going to do something a little different from our normal show. Today we're actually going to talk over and underperformers now that we are exactly at the midway point of the season. Game week 19 is ending, I think, tomorrow? Monday are the last games. The 30th. So
Yes, sir.
we're going to be exactly halfway on the season. So we're going to each, take a player who we feel has overperformed to this point and a player who we feel has underperformed to this point. And then, we're going to just say if we think going forward in the second half of the season, is it going to keep up? Is it going to change? Right? We're just going to give our thoughts. Something a little different, a little interesting for the boys.
Yes, sir.
So,
I like that.
yeah, you better like it because you're doing it.
Yeah. Suck if you didn't.
So, I'll get us started. And I'm going to go with...
Selfish, but okay.
It's very selfish.
Wait,
but
is this an overperformer?
Yeah.
Way to introduce-
I didn't even get to talk. I didn't even get to talk.
Oh, okay.
This is unbelievable. It's just
Yeah,
down my
thinks
throat.
Thinks he's the host or something.
Down my throat. We're all the hosts. Overperformer for me, I'm going with Chris Wood.
The wood.
Say that again?
The wood.
I like that. Okay. I'm going with the Wood. I'll go with that. I don't think many people had him on the radar the way that he is at the moment. To start the season, I think obviously people probably looked at him as a guy that would have a couple good runs to play throughout the season, but probably wouldn't sustain much. He's 33, right? So he is absolutely already outperforming his previous seasons. I think part of that is due to his team, which we're going to talk about. But Nottingham Forest are a top 4 team. They are playing like a top 4 team. I think they're going to continue to be a top 4 team. And with that defense playing the way they are playing, it lets Nottingham Forest continue to play the style of soccer they want to play, which allows him to kind of do his thing. So at the halfway point, he has 11 goals and 1 assist. He had a goal and an assist today in that game.
True.
Yep. So he has 106 points overall. That puts him third for all forwards.
Insanity.
And last season, full season, he had 14 goals and 1 assist on the whole season, right? So he's on pace to smash that if he can keep it up. And that's the question, right? That's what we're trying to answer here. Do we think he's going to keep it up in the second half of the season? So I say yes, and I say yes for 2 major reasons. I just mentioned it, but first, Nottingham Forest looks legit. I think, do we all agree Nottingham Forest? Yeah. They look like a legit team right now.
Potential Cinderella story here.
I don't foresee them slowing down at all. Again, with the defense, I just think that defense is rock solid, great goalie. Like, I think they're going to continue to do what they're doing. So that's one of my main reasons. I think he'll continue to get to play the style he wants to play. Second reason is I think the manager, Santo, I think he's doing a great job at kind of pulling him out when he needs to come out. He doesn't play a whole lot of 90-minute games. He comes out, between 75 and 80 a lot of times. Like, I think today he came out probably around the 80th minute. I don't remember exactly. But Wood's had injuries in the past. He's 33, right? He's had hamstring trouble. So that's obviously something I worry about. But I think the manager's doing a really good job of keeping him healthy. But yeah, like I said, he's on pace for 22 goals and 2 assists. That would easily beat his best Premier League season. His best season ever was with Leeds, 27 goals, 4 assists. That was in the championship.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that was 16-17.
I don't remember that one.
Of all his Premier League seasons, like he'll smash it if he does it. And he is the best forward on the top team, and he's a good price. He's with Wisa and Evan Nielsen. Those are the people that he's priced with. So I think he's going to continue to produce. And then when you look at his schedule after starting game week 20, he gets Wolves, good game. Liverpool, that's a tough one. But then he gets Southampton, he gets Bournemouth, he gets Brighton, he gets Fulham. Not a bad schedule. A lot of opportunity to score goals. So that's my overperformer. And like I said, I think he's going to continue to just be sustainable throughout the rest of the season.
I think the other thing about Wood is when you look at his kind of numbers is he's overperforming in the sense of he's not an active forward really.
Nope.
He doesn't get that many shots on target. I think he only has 20. He's only created 14 big chances and he scored 11 goals on them, and his expected goals is low. It's 7 point something.
Mm-hmm.
So he's overperforming his stats too in the sense where he doesn't really touch the ball much, create many chances, but when he does, he puts it in. So that's the forward you want.
Yeah. I mean, you look at it like he has 2 assists on the season, but he generally like ends seasons with 1 assist in that range. So obviously he's not, like you said, he's not a super active forward.
No.
So yeah, I mean, but you want a guy who when he gets the chance, bang,
100%.
Yeah. So go ahead, Dave.
No, I was looking at it. There's definitely some overperformance there, but I'm not like super concerned about it.
No.
Like, do I think he's going to have 11 more goals in the second half of the season? Probably not. But if he has like 6 or 7, that's fine.
It's a heck of a season.
Yeah.
So
for a 33-year-old, that's who's, like you said, not super active.
That's how Forest wins their games. They're going to win 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's perfect for them.
He has a couple penalties too, so that's always going to give him a little boost.
All right, so that's my first one, Dave. I'm going to take it to you because I know you want to talk about Forest. So
our new favorite team.
I mean, they're awesome to watch. It's fun.
I think they're our favorite team.
I think so too.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Ola Aina, who is now the number 1 scoring defender in fantasy.
Wild.
He's after his last 2 games were very nice for him, but so I figured I should probably just talk about everybody on Forest because like their defense, they have a number of useful guys. Like I said, Aina is now the number 1 scoring defender. Milenkovic's 4th. Maria's tied for 8th. I'm going to throw our boy Matt Sells into this too because he's the number 1 goalie so far. So none of them are like Milenkovic is 4th in expected goals amongst defenders, which is nice. Maria's solid in that category, but like none of their, other than that, like there's not really a whole lot of underlying stats that jump off the table for them in terms of like goals and creativity. Right. But they've kept 8 clean sheets now.
8.
They had one today, right?
After Everton.
After today,
yeah, that's 8.
So they've blanked.
It's wild.
Here's the teams that they've blanked: Everton, Spurs, Brentford, Ipswich, West Ham, Palace, Southampton, and Liverpool. So there's some good, medium, and bad teams in
Brentford and Liverpool. That's impressive.
Spurs too.
Well,
so my point is, it's not like there's some bad teams in there, but they're not just praying and shutting out bad teams and getting smoked by the good teams. So obviously, they're going to play every team again. But if you're riding with one of those guys, like I don't really see any reason to stop doing so.
No.
I did want to say, so when they're on the field, so there's the expected goals conceded number for teams when each guy is on the field. All 3 of them are in the top 8 of that category. The other 5 guys in the top 8 are, I think it's 2 Liverpool guys and 3 Arsenal guys.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of lines up with what we've been saying is they're overall just one of the best defensive teams in the league. Matt Sells, who we all love, he has 8 clean sheets now. He has 7.4 expected clean sheets. So he's not really overperforming by too much. Only David Raya has higher expected clean sheets, and Raya is also the only person better than him in expected goals conceded per 90 minutes.
Yeah, I need to apologize to Matt Sells because I've had him all season and I have literally not played him in the last 2 games. Sorry. I don't know why I think I'm smarter than Matt Sells. He's too good. Just got to play him every single game apparently. Yeah, it's wild.
He gets more saves than someone like David Raya, so that's
a big thing.
Nice little boost for him too here and there. Just the last stat for them, like Forest has conceded either 18 or 19 goals with those guys on the field. All their expected goals conceded for each of them is 19 or 20. So, like, all of their defensive metrics look good. There's no, like, real overperformance to speak of. They're probably not going to finish the season with 8 more clean sheets because, like, 16 in a season would feel
That'd be
like
crazy,
a lot.
but
Impressive.
But
I mean, the way they're playing.
but they don't really need 8 more
No.
like to be worthy of being in your lineup. If they have
No.
5 clean sheets till their end of the season, which I think is reasonable,
Yeah.
you'd probably be pretty happy with that. So,
Yeah.
like I said, if you're riding with any of those Forest guys, Murillo, Aina, Milinkovic, Sells, even Chris Wood, like we said, not really any reason to stop doing so.
Right.
I wanted to look up. I was
Not
curious
everyone.
what the most clean sheets ever in a EPL season
Probably
was.
Arsenal's team, right?
I'll let you guys
Undefeated.
take, I guess, if you want.
Was it
Or Chelsea.
who was their goalie in the Invincibles season? Seaman?
Seaman or no? It was who's the other guy?
Don't overthink it.
Our brains.
Go back to your first thought, Phil.
It was Arsenal.
No, your second thought.
Chelsea with John Terry and
Peter Cech. Yeah,
What
it was
is
when he was the
Well, that
goalie
was Chelsea.
but with Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yes, they had 24.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That is
Who were the
absurd.
two center backs? It was Terry and. Gosh, why can't I? We're blanking on the dumb. I mean, again,
They gave up
apologize.
13 goals in the entire
Yeah.
season.
It was
Like
nuts.
Ricardo Carvalho or something.
Carvalho,
God.
Ashley Cole,
That's
and
a freaking
could have
stat,
been
man.
on the right.
Couldn't tell you.
We're forgetting.
Ivanovic.
Probably Ivanovic, yeah.
If you know who was on the
He might have
right,
been
if you know who was on the right, comment. Let
I'm
Phil
not
know.
feeling well, so that's why.
Please let us know who was on the right.
No, who's the Arsenal goalie? Gosh darn, kind of had curly hair.
I got nothing for you, man.
My brain.
Hey, if you know the Arsenal goalie with curly hair,
Look up
let
stuff.
us know. I think you're looking that one up. Not gonna let the people have fun and tell you.
It's gonna annoy me when you say it.
Dead air. This is fun. All right, Phil. You keep
on,
look
Phil.
it up as we go. It's your turn. Tell us who your overperformer
No,
is.
I'm gonna find it.
Okay.
Jens Lehman.
I would have never.
Did you say
known
Lehman
it
or
is.
Seaman?
I said David Seaman.
Yeah, Lehman.
All right, there you go.
All right, so my overperformer. I mean, listen, I don't think it's an obvious one, but I'm gonna go with the Egyptian King, Mohamed Salah. And you might say, well, yeah, he's the best player in the EPL. But when you look at his numbers, they're absolutely ridiculous. And I think we tweeted it from Fireside FPL, follow us, early on, where
Follow us.
he's like the only player, maybe outside of a stretch with Haaland, but I think that was more because of the team and how City was playing, that is as close to Ronaldo and Messi in terms of scoring. Or every single game with Ronaldo and Messi, you expected that if they didn't score a goal, you'd be upset. Even if they scored one goal, you'd be like, kind of a crappy game. You'd expected multiple goals or at least a goal and assist. He's the only player that's kind of reminds me of that, where every game, regardless who they're playing, he has a good chance of getting that multiple returns. So the reason I'm saying he's overperforming is if you look back to his previous seasons, and I have it right here. In last year, he had 18 goals and 10 assists in 32 games. The year before, he had 19 goals and 12 assists in 38 games. The year prior, he had, I jumped 2 years.
23 and 13.
23 and 13.
22 and 5 the year before that.
So we're talking about great seasons, but like he's not averaging a return per game. Right now, he's sitting at
16.
16 goals and 11 assists. So
Well, after today, it's 17 and
17
13.
and
17,
13.
yeah, he
So
just
30
got one.
returns in 18 games. That's almost 2 per game. So that's why I just think that he is above anyone's expectation, probably the best player in the world right now, maybe.
I would probably put him in that category.
And the thing with him is he's always been really good, but I don't think Liverpool outside of that COVID year has really won stuff. So if they actually can win this year, I'm wondering if he's finally going to get like his silverware, the individual silverware, whether it's the best, the Ballon d'Or,
I
all
think
of
it's
those.
gotta be, yeah. I mean, to your point, if they win the Champions League and they don't go with him, I just don't.
I mean, they have to.
I don't know who else they could ever pretend is on his level. No, I think that's fair. And to your point, like everyone, people might say, "Oh, that's so obvious," because I mean, you see it when you dig into the actual numbers. He is so far ahead of like the pace he's set in previous seasons right now.
Yeah,
like he's outdoing himself, and we've considered him a great player for years.
Yeah.
So, and he's doing it in a year where we kind of thought start of the season, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Right, a little bit of turmoil in
contract talks. He's getting older. He actually didn't look that good in a stretch of games. I was like, is he just not kind of fully invested this year? But no, he's
in it to win it. All right,
he has 27 big chances. The next highest midfielder is Palmer.
Palmer,
12.
Yeah. It's nuts.
It's insane.
And he looks better and better as the season's going on too.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is what's scary. So, that's my overperformer.
Shout out. Also, if you don't have him on your FPL team,
you're an idiot.
Make that happen fast.
Dave doesn't.
Yeah, I'll second that one.
All right, so I'm gonna go with the guy who I think has underperformed this season, and it pains me to say because he's one of my favorite players, Heung Min Son. Yeah, unfortunately. So he's my candidate for underperformer thus far in the season. I base a lot of this on the expectation that people had, not just for him coming into the season, but for the team themselves. They currently sit in 11th place. I would assume most people, I mean, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, probably would have said they got to be at least top 8 at this point. Tottenham as a team, right? I mean, you wouldn't expect them to be down in 11th place at this point. So, it just, the expectations were very high. And worse than that, right? The team looks erratic still. Some teams like a Chelsea, they looked pretty erratic at the start of the season. They've kind of raided the ship. Tottenham, I think, are still just as, unpredictable as they were to start the season. So you just never know what team you're going to get. And for me, like a big thing here is he's 9.9 million. So when you don't know what Tottenham you're getting each week, how can you justify putting a 9.9 million midfielder on the field? It's very difficult. So at the halfway point, he has 5 goals. He has 6 assists. If you look back at last season, he ended with 17 goals and 10 assists. So way under the goals, actually above his assists from last year. So, I mean, I guess that's good. But, I mean, he's trending really far under the goals that he got last year. He did deal with a hamstring injury and I think a thigh issue at some point. So it kept him out of a couple games. He had limited minutes coming back from that, so definitely plays a factor. But I mean, when we're talking underperformances, health is a factor in that, right? Like if you weren't healthy, you're an underperformer, so can't give him any any passes for that. Question becomes, is he going to bounce back going into the second half of the season? It's a tough one because we know the talent level he has, but I foresee this trend continuing for the rest of the season. Now, I think he's going to have a couple more of those big 12 to 16 point games. I think he has like 2 of them on the season, which is a lot of his point totals. I think he'll probably have a couple of those, but I think there's going to be too many games where you get 0 to 5 points. And to justify that high price tag, I just don't really think you can do it. So, Dave, like you just tried it, right? I think he's the kind of guy that maybe you try and plug in for a week or 2 weeks and maybe you get lucky. But if you think you're going to keep him for the whole season as like a sustainable pick, I don't think that's going to happen. Like I said, Tottenham's unpredictable. They tied Wolves today. It's a 17th place team in the EPL.
Son missed a penalty.
Exactly where I was going. He
always give them trouble. Well, now every team does, but if you go back to the last few years, they never can beat Wolves.
And Dave said it. Son missed a PK, and he got subbed off the 64th minute. He ended with 0 points. That's a tough return for a guy that's worth that much. Again, the risk is too high for me to believe that a guy worth that much can bring 9.9 million worth of value to end the season. Last year, he ended at 213 points. He's currently on pace for 162. And the schedule starting week 20, I don't love. They get Newcastle, who's hot. They get Arsenal, who's great. They get Everton, who we know has a good defense. They had struggled today, but Dave's been saying it. They do have a good defense. I mean, they even looked good today against City frankly, they had a lot of chances. They just didn't get anything out of it. Then they get Leicester, not bad, but then it's Brentford and United. So there's not a lot of easy games in these next 6, man. I don't know. I don't see him doing too much. Like I said, he'll have a couple big games, but no sustainability.
Yeah. To me, like, Son will go kind of as Spurs go as a team. Like, if they ever become more predictable and consistent, I think Son's form and production will come along with it. But, like, there's no indication that that's about to happen.
No. So, if you want to bet on Tottenham, good luck.
Yeah. So, I don't know if he's I wouldn't call him a buy, that's for sure.
Yeah, except you did, so.
No, I just did it because I knew you guys weren't going to buy him, and I need to catch you still.
I'm just kidding. All right, so Dave, who do you have as your underperformer?
So my first half underperformer is a guy who I like. Has had a really nice last couple of seasons. It's Eberechi Eze. Talked about him a lot on this show. I drafted him at the start of the year. I've had him on my team another time. So, like I said, I feel like he was kind of highly sought after last year. He's kind of the driving force behind Palace's attack. He scored today, which is only his second goal of the season. So before today, he had a goal and 2 assists. Now he's got 2, 481 expected goals, 256 expected assists. He's got 54 points on 71.5 xFPL. So there's definitely some underperformance there. He has 53 shots. Only Salah, Semenyo, and Palmer have more than that. So he's had a couple different among midfielders.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I figured that out as I said on.
He's had a couple times where he's had some injuries, so I think that's kind of derailed him a bit in the first half. So aside from like the underlying stuff, so Ismaila Sarr began starting for Palace in week 9. In that kind of role where they play with like 2 number 10s, kind of like United are doing now.
Yep.
And so since game week 9, when Sarr stepped into the starting lineup, Crystal Palace's expected goals as a team with Sarr on the field is 20.5, which is 6th. That's 6th overall for Sarr, behind only Salah, McAllister, Gravenberch, Palmer, and Caicedo. Now, some of those guys are, again, it's a team stat, but they display it for each player.
Yeah.
But I cite that because him and Eze are playing the same role. Eze, since he was out of the lineup for some time since week 9, so his numbers are a lot lower in this category. But like, it's working for Sarr. I don't see any reason why that role shouldn't work for Eze with him and Mateta up front.
I agree.
And so I've been kind of touting him all year, and I'm not going away from it. In my opinion, if you need to differentiate yourself like I do, I have Son. I'm probably going to transfer him out within the next week or 2. Eze is probably one of the main couple of guys that I'm looking at bringing in.
Yeah.
So they also have a really nice schedule to start the second half, if I'm not mistaken.
So to be clear, while you're looking that up, you are saying that he has underperformed, but you're feeling like he's going to bounce back here in the second half.
I do. I do. I like the formation they're playing. Like I said, I think it's a good fit for what he does. Sarr's played well, so it gives him a nice person to work with. Chelsea, then Leicester, West Ham, Brentford, United, Everton, Fulham, Villa, Ipswich. So like nothing that really scares you for a while after the Chelsea game.
I think with him, it's going to be similar to the guy I'm going to talk about, where he's underperformed stat-wise. So obviously he's underperformed because we're talking about FPL here, but he's so fun to watch. He's so creative. And he does so much for the team. So, he's underperformed stat-wise. But if he picks that up, like, it's not that he's playing bad or playing poorly. Yeah. So there's a lot of – you can be confident that – he can't do much worse stat-wise. So it's –
Also, it's a nice differential sneaky pick, too. He's only 7% owned. So he is a guy that has a talent. Like you said, if he bounces back and you have him on your team early – you're going to get points where other people aren't going to get them right now. So, 100%. I like that, Dave. I like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, moving on to me and the leader of our FPL Mini League. My guy's a little similar to Eze, and it's going to be Ollie Watkins. Obviously, right now, he might have gotten a second chance for this year with Duran's red card, which begs the question, are they going to revoke it?
What, Duran's red card?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know they're reviewing it, right? I don't think there's been a decision.
It was an absolutely ridiculous call by VR. It was called that.
I didn't see it. Do you mind explaining?
He was like kind of lunging. Well, no, he didn't lunge. He was running with a defender. The defender fell, and he kind of tried jumping over him. There was no intention of stepping on him, and he stepped on the bottom of his thigh.
Yeah, he stepped on
a total accident.
Total accident. He wasn't looking down. You could see he tried like spreading his legs to like not step on him, and VAR reviewed it, I think, and he got a red card.
Everything in slow motion looks bad. Yeah.
But so Ollie Watkins, obviously now with Duran's red card, second opportunity, but excuse me, he's just a guy that he's produced a lot of chances. He's on the ball a lot. He just hasn't put in the net. So like we talked about Wood, where his expected goals was 7 point something and he has 11. Ollie Watkins' expected goals is 10.38 and he has 7. So he's had the chances. He's produced the chances. He has, 22 shots on target, 43 in the box, created 19 big chances. So he's created the opportunities. He's just not scoring, which obviously for a forward is the worst thing possible. But, it's one of those things where you don't especially with how he was progressing year after year. You felt like this was maybe going to be a breakout year for him. It started off decent, I think, too. He was on PKs, and all of a sudden he hit this slump where he couldn't put in the net.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad to see because he's such a good player. You can tell when he's kicking the ball, like shooting. He's not shooting with confidence either. I think I saw a left-footed shot the other day against City when he came on. Granted, it was his first touch, but it was kind of like, I'm just going to kick it to put it on net and not make a fool out of myself. So
yeah, you read my mind. I was going to say, because you said he kind of has been progressing to this boom breakout, right? He got in the England team, I think, last year.
Scored
was kind of like
Netherlands.
He had 19 goals and 13 assists last year.
Yeah, so he's 2021. He had 131 fantasy points. 2022, 175. Last year he had 228. And I don't know what he has right now, but I got to assume he's not on pace for 228. Assuming he's going to.
He has 80.
So he's reverting back to 2021. So we'll see. But I like your point. The talent's there.
Yeah,
right?
The talent's there. And I think you could have been nervous if Duran didn't get the red card because Duran would have kept playing.
Right.
He kind of took that spot from
Golden
Watkins,
foot Duran.
But, soccer's
Wild.
Football is a game of opportunity, and let's see if Watkins is ready and good to go.
To me, it's all about the playing time for him. Like, I think we said last week, whoever is the center, because we talked about Duran.
Yeah.
Whoever's the center forward is getting chances. And, regardless, Villa's form as a team is kind of come and gone. But whoever is starting for them at forward is going to get chances. And so I think that player will always interest me. It's just like, is Watkins going to steal back the starting gig regularly with this suspension or not? And I don't think we know the answer to that yet.
So if you had to go with a gut feel on going to keep producing or going to switch it back to form, or he's going to kind of stay this way, what do you think in the second half? If you had to give a feel.
If I had to give a feel, I'd say no.
Okay.
I think he's kind of chalked mentally right now, but
I think my feel is at some point I do think he'll take back the starting job. I think Duran, again, we don't have the sample size with him that we do Watkins, but I feel like he works better off the bench rather than leading the line every single game. So I think at some point Watkins will get his job back as the regular starter, and at that point I want him, but I don't know when that's going to be. So for now, I'm probably out.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, that's it.
Short. Hey, that was a fun one.
I thought that was fun, right? Something a little different, short and sweet. So, do you guys have any comments before we go? Anything else? We're going into the second half of the season. Anything you want to say? Or we're going to be doing our wild card episode.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, so we are going to be doing a wild card episode. It should be coming out next week or the week after that, where we are going to, as a team, bring you what we feel is the best strategy for wild card and the team that we would put together. We'll talk about each person we choose, why we chose them. So it'll be a good episode, a fun episode.
We're also going to do a specific wildcard episode because you get the second wildcard today, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So one of the next couple will be us, giving you some advice on when's the best time to use your wildcard, and along with what Sean just said, who should you pick with that wildcard?
Yeah, so that'll be fun. Look out for that episode, and you'll probably see another one of our normal shows coming out. So
tune in, baby.
Yeah, tune in. Happy New Year to everyone out there.
Be safe.
Be safe. Hope you had a great year. Gear up for 2025. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, leave a comment. It's all free. It really helps us out. We appreciate it.
Go to our socials, Fireside FPL.
Fireside FPL. You can listen to us anywhere you can find podcasts. And we will be back here, same time, same place, giving you some wild card information. And with that, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.